Welcome to the Stone Table. This isn't a stage, it's a gathering place. Here, lifters of all kinds bring their stories. The heavy, the honest, and the hard-earned. Real voices, real weight. Shared like a good pour among friends. Recorded in Ontario, Canada, and open to lifters everywhere. Sláinte.
Welcome back. Today's reading from Peter J. Martin's Twixt the Stone and the Turf, An Understanding of Gaelic Strength and Stone Lifting, pages 8 to 9. This episode takes us into a part of stone lifting history that is often misunderstood or at times romanticized beyond the available evidence. Martin places a clear historical marker, the Battle of Culloden in 1746. Not just a military defeat, but a major cultural turning point. He writes, quote, Post-1746 was a time when this strength for war culture disappears for many reasons, not just the fact that weaponry in the hand of the Highlander was illegal, end quote. His argument is that the suppression of Gaelic culture, language, social systems, and martial life had a direct impact on the traditional strength practices. Before this period, clan structure functioned very differently. Quote, the clan chief was not the owner of clan lands, but was its selected protector. The survival of a clan was based solely on its ability to win a battle, end quote. Within that system, physical strength held clear functional value. It was tied to warfare, protection, and status within the clan. This context reframes stone lifting. Martin challenges the modern assumption that these were always manhood stones, in a ceremonial, symbolic sense. Quote, a traditional stone was lifted by pubescent males not to prove the romantic notion of manhood, but to show their readiness for training in weaponry, end quote. In this interpretation, the lift itself was not always about fully raising or carrying the stone, but about demonstrating baseline capability. In some cases, simply getting the stone to break from the ground was sufficient. Stronger individuals could then be identified for more elite roles, including service close to the chief. However, and this is where Martin's argument gets interesting, he suggests that after 1746, the original cultural framework largely disappears. Quote, what we have in essence is two facets of stone lifting completely obliterated, and hence manhood stones were redundant, end quote. Importantly, he does not argue that stone lifting stopped, only that its original martial and cultural meaning may no longer have applied in the same way. This leads into one of his key methodological points. Dating the stones matters. Aclach Thagalagic, quote, Aclach Thagalach, first lifted in 1780, most definitely not lifted as part of Gaelic Highland clan culture. It is therefore not a manhood stone, end quote. Here Martin is making a distinction between age and cultural origin, arguing that stones first recorded or known after 1746 should not automatically be assigned earlier clan-based meanings. He reinforces this by noting that many stones, such as those of North Uist, lack any recorded manhood associations in local Gaelic tradition. He also highlights how some stones can be historically studied through context, such as the placement on coffin roads post-Scottish Reformation, or within churchyards, potentially pre-1560. Finally, Martin addresses how later interpretations may have reshaped the narrative. Quote, Victorian Romanticism plowed the furrow of this contorted history of the Gael, a very much overstated creation of a perceived view of the Highlander, end quote. His position is that elements of Highland identity, including aspects of stone lifting, were reinterpreted, stylized, or overstated during the Victorian period, particularly through events like the Highland Games. It's important to recognize that Martin's work presents a specific interpretation of stone lifting history, particularly around the impact of 1746 and the classification of manhood stones. What this reading offers is not a final word, but a lens, one that asks us to look more closely at where these traditions come from and how their meanings may have shifted over time. Because when we lift a stone today, we're not just lifting weight. We're stepping into story that's still being debated. still being uncovered, and still in many, many ways being written. Now on to the episode. Welcome back to the Stone Table Podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Innes. Today is going to be one of my most favorite podcast episodes yet. Tonight, it's a little something different. It's not a formal studio. There's no strict structure. It's just a group of incredibly strong women, a few drinks, some of our Highland Cow pajamas, and shared obsession over lifting heavy things, including stones. We're going to call this one Girls Gone Stone Wild, and this is the North American version with Irish and Scottish ones to follow. Around this table are women who have done things that only a tiny few number of people in the world have ever done. Some have lifted legendary stones like the Husafell and the Dinnies, and some will and intend to in the following months. All of them are walking this path of strong woman and stone. What I love the most is not just the strength of this group, it's their amazing ability to have a lot of fun, courage, their discipline, and the community and stories that they've shaped around stones. Like stones really, truly, they don't care who you are. They don't care about your ego. They don't care about how strong you think you are. They're just sitting there waiting to see who shows up. So tonight we're talking about all of it. We're talking about lifts, the fears, the training, the obsessions, the failures, and the fun that happens around it. And the moments that you realize that the stone is actually changing you. So ladies, welcome to the show. I've been dying to have you around here. Thank you so much for coming.
Whoop, whoop. Yay, thanks for having us. Woo!
So, as I said to everyone, this is going to be a challenge to edit likely because I haven't ever had 6 guests on here before. So we'll see how this goes. But what we're going to do to start off with is give a little introduction to ourselves. So maybe who you are, where you're from, and maybe that first moment that stones first hooked you. And feel free to interject if you have something to add to their story. So Teresa, let's start with you.
Okay, my name is Teresa Troiani. I'm from northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm 41. And let me see. What was the question about when first when no, when I have ADD so bad. When I first got interested in stones, right? If that was the question.
Here's a
Yes,
sign.
yes.
Yeah. So I have to say I started out in strongman like I think a lot of us did, and I never got interested in stones until I went to FEFOR and I saw Stones of Strength and the women doing the Stones of Strength and the amateurs and the pros. I was just like, "Oh wow. Okay. Okay. That's I want to look into that." And when I had gone with Gina and Tanaya to California to Leifa's house to kind of she was doing like she took us out into a park with stones and she kind of helped us with throws, different techniques. It was like a really valuable educational session and she took us back to her house after and we watched. I had never seen the Rogue special. Help me out here. um the whole
Stoneland.
Stoneland, thank you. I had never seen Stoneland. I remember sitting in front of her TV and I was just like mesmerized. Like it sucked me in. It's just like the history, the lore of it all, the fact that these feats have stayed consistent throughout time just really hit me. And that's when I got the tingle for stones.
Awesome. Thanks, Teresa. So Tanaya.
Yeah, hi. I'm Tanaya Tudor. I'm from Northern California, and um, I think that I started off way long ago. I started off in CrossFit. I was like, "Ooh, these group classes sound fun." Anyways, I was pretty terrible at it. I was made to lift heavy weights, and I ended up Googling like a squat competition. Like, how do I do this for, as a competition? So I found powerlifting. I powerlifted for a very long time. And then I started getting into strongman just to mix things up. Powerlifting's super boring. So after doing strongman on and off for a little bit, Gina found out through Leifa Ingalls, who Teresa already mentioned, that there's this cool week in the mountains of Norway where you just go and lift rocks with your friends. Like, oh yeah, I want to go to that too. It sounds really cool. Um, so that's how I found FEFOR Power Week and just kind of fallen into stone lifting through that.
Awesome. And Nancy.
Hello. Might as well mention Lucifer's here too, if you can't hear. I'm Nancy. I'm from Virginia. I'm 29. And the first time I messed with stones was at what would become my first coach's house. He had invited me out to try strongman. And at the time, I was like, I'm not going to like this sport. That's dumb. And the first stone I played with was an Atlas stone that was cracked in half, like full styrofoam globe in the center sticking out. And I remember like asking him like, how do you pick that up like normally? And he's like explaining it to me. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like it's too big. And I think it was maybe 150 pounds or 200 pounds or something. Like we would drop it on a sled and use it to drag the sled back, like use it as weight on a sled. But I remember like starting to mess with stones that day, and I didn't care about anything else. I thought some of the exercises were weird or dumb, but I was like, there's something about that rock, something about that right there. I want to keep playing with it. And then
I want to touch that
much like-
rock.
she's touch that rock. Like,
Touch that dog.
Yeah, I want
I
to
have
touch
two
that. I want
rocks
to
in my
touch that rock.
backyard for Teresa right now. But like everybody else, it seems FEFOR only amplified my love of rocks. I mean, I've always loved rocks, but FEFOR has definitely amplified
And
it, and I've had some sweet memories there.
Yeah, once you touch a rock, you never not touch a rock. I don't know what I don't know where I was going with that. But Gianna.
I'm Gina. I'm 39. I'm in Northern California, also with Tanaya. So I started in the before times. I started doing CrossFit, and then I was like, "This is terrible. Like, I don't want to do this." And I went to a competition. It was Alan Thrall's first competition at Untamed Strength. And one of the guys from my CrossFit gym was doing that competition. So I went and watched, and I was like, oh, I could totally do this. So I did strongman for a while. And then I remember watching one of the competitions, and it was when Chloe lifted the Dinnies in competition.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, I could totally do that one day, like whatever, you know. And then I was coached by Leifa for quite some time, and Leifa really helped. Like, I was like, hey, like, I really like picking up rocks. Like, I'm really good at Atlas stones. Like, I want to just continue with just picking up rocks. Like, duh. Like, that seems like the natural progression. Like, I just want to pick up rocks. So then, you know, she told me about Power Week, and I started going to FEFOR Power Week. This is our 5th year going this year, right?
That's 4 for me, I think, too.
Or fourth, yeah. Then
four.
it's fifth for us. If it's
Yeah,
it's 4 for me.
So it's our fifth year going. But then I was like, you know what? Like, I could totally do the Dinnies stones. It was like in 2023 or 2024 when I decided I wanted to go do it. No, it wasn't. It was my first FEFOR Power Week. And Tanai and I had stayed later to spend a few days in Oslo because we're like, oh, this is totally a once in a lifetime trip that we're now doing 5 times.
Do every year until we die.
Pretty much. So we went to Kiki and Egel's gym, and Red from Australia, she was training because she was going to go to the Dinnies after that. And I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to play with these. Like, let's have a shot. I was my first time ever playing with them. I was 15 kilos under full Dinnie weight. And so I posted online. Stevie Shanks got a hold of me. And then in 2024 is when I went and did the Dinnies for the first time.
Wow.
So that was just like my weird, like, long-winded progression.
Well-
I just like picking up rocks. Like, I just want to go and pick up rocks and like help other people do it because like it's such like this primal like mind body rock connection thing, you know, not to get like too hippy dippy about it, but it's like it's this nice connection that you have with it. And I just like, oh my gosh, the more people that we can get to understand this, and like Teresa talked about like the history, the lore, like everything that goes along with it. It's an imperative skill that I think that people underutilize.
Yeah.
And it's just really fun. I want to go. Who doesn't want to go in the forest and pick up rocks?
Exactly. And Lori, a fellow forest visitor and FEFOR visitor as well. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay. Hello, I'm Lori McDouglas-Gregg. I am from Toronto, Canada. I came to Stone through strongman as well. So in strongman, there's always like atlas stone, stone carry, stone to shoulder, all that kind of stuff. But it was always just kind of like as part of my regular like strongman training. It was like I was really, really into strongman. It was like strongman everything for like the last 10 years. And when I went to FEFOR, it was all about like stones of strength, picking up rocks. It was like a lot more stones than I had ever lifted before. Because usually, like, you go to a strongman comp and there's like one event with stones, but this was like a lot of stones. It was like all week long. It was like you're throwing stones, you're loading stones, you're carrying stones. It was like everything all week, which was like pretty cool. And then last year we met Stevie Shakes because he came to FEFOR Power Week, and just hearing him talk about the Dinnies stones and like how important it was to him and how it had all this like really special meaning, I was like, you know what? I think it's time. I think I'm going to try training to lift the Dinnie stones. So I've been training that since last July. I've been using a program I got from Gina. And I ended up hitting full Dinnie weight on the pins in February. So I'm like several months ahead of schedule. So I'm really stoked to lift those on August.
That's amazing. Now, okay, so I didn't do my token warm-up question here before we dove right in, because I think it's really important for folks to know how prepared we came for this podcast. So as you know, we are all wearing our cow or
our Highland coos.
Yes, our Highland coo pajamas.
Highland coos.
And some have, I know that some have charcuteries as well, and soups and
emotional support candy cigarettes.
Exactly, all the things. So
just take the edge off, Teresa, when you get nervous.
Sneaky little hit.
A little secondhand smoke for some of us here, but okay. So all that aside, you guys are a ton of fun. But we'll get to FEFOR and that fun in a minute. But I want to talk about some of the legendary stones first, because I mean, the collective strength around this table is just absolutely phenomenal. There's women here who have lifted the Husafell, as I said, who've lifted Dinnies, who are training for the Dinnies, and I've done neither of those. And so full respect to all of you. But I wanted to, talk about, for those that have lifted the Husafell stones, there's 3 of you here that have done that. Can we just like talk about that experience? I mean, there's only 14 women in the world who have ever done it. We just saw Hannah take it around the lap, but I think Nancy, you were the first one to actually walk with it. Let's dive in, and we'll start with you, Nancy.
Oh, I was going to say, I was not the first one to take steps with it. Leifa, Sunny, and I believe one other have, but I was the first to walk it 40 feet. So I set a world record. And then a month later, Hannah comes up and she's like, well, I got you. Hold my beer. And the crazy thing, and Sandra Bradley and Leifa were the first 2 women to go lift it. Talking to Sunny about myself and Hannah at the time, neither of us had a doubt. And we had been saying for a few years now, like, a woman can do this. It's just someone has to have the interest and the time to come out here and hope for that right kind of day, because obviously we can handle different weather, but sometimes the weather really does impact the way you're going to experience the Husafell stone. I had an incredible day. I think I've had the most spiritual experience with a stone that I've ever had in my life. I went the first time and I walked at 15 feet, and I didn't think I would walk at 15 feet. And I left, and my partner and I were traveling around Iceland. And for like 3 days, both of us are sitting on this idea of like, we have unfinished business, but neither of us would say it because we had plans. And I didn't want to make the trip all about me. A few days later, we started talking, and I'm like, hey, like, seems like you have this itch too. And he's like, yeah, we need to go back. I was like, okay, we're going back. Like, we can do this. And so the first time was that most insane spiritual rock connection element I think I've ever had with a stone. And it was just so deep, it's very hard to explain. But the second time, taking it 40 feet and knowing I gave it my all in that moment was that feeling times 10. And then to see Hannah do it, I was like, I had no doubt Hannah would do it. Sunny said the same thing. We're like, we knew a woman was going to come do it soon. And now it's who can get more laps, who can do this. Like, you're constantly seeing that bar rise with the Husafell stone, but you're also seeing this community of women come together with the Husafell. Like, I actually have the list right here. Only 11 women are recorded as having lifted this stone, period. regardless of taking steps, full extension, yada, yada,
Wind
yada. Like, I
underneath.
have the details here. You have,
Yeah, let's go through
what did you
them.
say?
Let's go through
Wind
it.
underneath. Sorry.
No, thank you. Wind underneath. I mean, in 1986, you had Kristen, I don't want to butcher her last name. She was the first one to lift it with assistance. And then you had Leifa and Sandra Bradley. That's why I say Leifa and Sandra were the first two, because there was no assistance. There was nothing but them lifting it from the ground. Then you had Susan Holland Keene, Sunny again, Raga. I also don't want to butcher her last name. Tanaya, Gina. And then in 2025, you had Allie, Jennifer Lau, myself, and Hannah all come through at once. So 2024 and 2025 are where it kind of picked back up again. So the ladies were like, hey, we can do this. Let's go do this. And Gina went back last year too, and tonight. I don't remember what you
And
guys
Pauline
specifically
Mass,
did that day,
Pauline
but
Mass also has
Didn't
wind
really do
underneath.
anything last year.
she does have wind underneath. I don't have
Yes,
that on here,
yeah.
you're right?
Tonight and I
But that would
kind
have
of
been
got bullied.
2025, right?
Yeah, she did it last year. Tonight and I
Thank you
got
for that, T.
bullied into doing it, kind of. When we went to Scotland for me to lift the Dinnies, Sunny was there and her partner Lutz was there. And we told them we were going to go to Iceland for the weekend afterwards. And Lutz was like, oh, you guys should go just lift the Husafell. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm like, you're high, bro. Like, there's no way. And he was like, no, you guys should just totally go do it. And we're just like, I don't know, man. Like, I just looked at the Dinnies. Like, that was really cool. Like, I don't know. And then we went and did it. And it was like this weird, the experience that we had with it was way different than what Nancy had with it. When we went there, they were doing Iceland's Strongest Man, and they were using the Husafell for that competition. So what was it? It was in Selfoss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they were just like, oh, no, you guys will just be a part of Iceland's Strongest Man and just do it there. And we're just like, I'm so sorry, what? And yeah, like no big deal. But we had like such minimal time with the stone. Like Nancy, like I know since you were there when you lifted it, like you have the area, like when we went back last year, you have the area to yourself. You can take as long as you need. You can take a rest. You can like have like this more spiritual moment. And like tonight I had this like, and Raga was with us too. We had this like super rush, like, all right, like, come on, we're live streaming. Like you have to do it now. And we were just like, oh, okay, I guess we'll do it.
And yeah, because Tanaya, the picture that I have of you is like there's a whole bunch of people behind you.
Yes, that was Iceland's Strongest Man. They took a little intermission after they had done their Husafell carry around this little garden area, and we're like, okay, girls, hop in. We're gonna have to take this stone back home in an hour, so yeah, go ahead. This is your chance. Like, okay.
And are any of you finished with it, or it's not a done story?
I don't think it's a done story for me. So when, as Nancy mentioned, like, we went back, Tonight I went back. Well, last year after FEFOR, like a bunch of us went to Iceland, but we all kind of did like parsed off and did like our own thing. But when we went back last year, I went to have another go at it, and it just like wasn't my day. I felt really disconnected from the stone that day. I have shifted goals right now to do something else, but I definitely feel unfinished with it. Like I want to eventually go back to it.
And Tanaya or Dancy?
I was going to say, I remember both days that I went last year. The first day, gorgeous weather. Second day was so-so weather. But I remember when Gina went and comparing the days, and I'm like, we couldn't have different weather experiences right now. Like, it's insane. I had wanted to go back this summer and take her for a longer walk, but I will be having my ACL reconstructed hopefully next week. So we'll push that. But there's no time like the future.
If
Yes,
I've,
love.
having watched your injuries throughout the years and like being there when you injured your leg at OSG under the car and seeing you bounce back from that, I have no doubt that like, you're like, this is just an ACL repair. Like that's why I feel like, we've seen Nancy basically snap one of her limbs in half. Like it's just a flesh wound for you. Like I have no doubt that you'll be back next year, like doing more epic shit, So
Thank you. I mean,
Yeah.
bone versus ligament. It's obviously going to be a different experience, but I know that I have the right community and the ability to come back. So I'm
Hell
just
yeah.
pushing my goal, my stone goals to the right. We're just rolling them a little far forward.
Yeah.
But thank you
Hell
for
yeah.
that too.
Of course.
And Tanaya?
Yeah. I'm not quite sure about it. So both times, well, I didn't. So the first time we did it, that has a picture of me getting air under it with the crowd in the background at Iceland's Strongest Man. Like, had a great time. It was weird, but it was super fitting for the time. And then I ended up straining this old back slash glute injury that I've had, and it got strained pretty badly after that. And so I could be mad at the Husafell. Like, so last year after FEFOR, when we went back, I'm like, I'm not allowed to touch the Husafell. Like, I can't, not allowed to try. Don't want to re injure myself again. I just gotten over that. But what hurting myself on the Husafell did was let me restructure my training and what I wanted to get out of strength sports. Like, at the time, super high level power lifter. I had just gotten some world records in the 220 weight class. But it was a great accomplishment. But then I was also kind of lost after that. It's like, where do you go from that? Of course, you just keep getting stronger, but I was getting burnt out on it. And so actually what hurting myself on the Husafell let me do was reset my training. Like, okay, well, I'm going to go super light. I'm going to cut some weight classes. I'm just going to try to find the fun in training again. So the Husafell kind of just told me, like, hey, you're not having a good time right now. Why don't you do some fun things? Do this for
Yeah.
yourself and not to get better. So I don't know if I'm going to go back because I'm still worried about hurting myself again, but I will touch it, maybe, like give it a little pat.
And did you all lever lift it, or how did you guys lift it?
Yeah.
I tried to pick it from the bottom and I thought I was going to blow my hip out.
Yeah, I think we would have died if we would have tried to pick it from the bottom without lever lifting it.
Okay.
I mean,
and
don't get me wrong. I would,
Yeah.
I think a woman could do it, but we're
Yeah.
all coming off a full week of competing. And that was after the second day I had spent with it. I was like, let me just try it for fun. And then I was like, this is a bad idea. But the women have kind of perfected the flip. I will say that.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so were you training specifically for this, and what advice would you give, I want to say, fellow women who want to add their name to this limited list, but obviously it's translatable for men as well. But
Mhm.
I think using the lever lift is going to be a key component. But what training would you say has to go into this in the lead up, and what kind of lead up and minimal strength are we talking about, Gina?
Oh, I did absolutely no training for it.
Okay, fabulous.
When we first went to do it, like I said, we weren't intending on doing it. We were overseas. We were in Scotland, so I could lift the Dinnies.
Yes.
So I had been training to lift the Dinnies, and then, like I said, we had absolutely no intention because we were just like, oh, we'll just go to Iceland, just like, play around for a few days, like drive around, check out the country, blah blah blah. We want to go see the Husafell, but like it was just going to be like,
Yeah,
hey, there
right.
you are. And then like
Nobody ever goes to
Lu-
just look at a rock.
I
No.
know.
No.
And then, like I said, Luce was
Bullshit.
like, no, you guys should totally pick it up. And it was definitely not our intention to do that. And then last year in 25, when we went back, when we were at FEFOR Power Week, I got incredibly sick. So coming from like California in June, July, when it's, in the 103 to the Norwegian mountains where it was like 55 and raining, just wrecked my immune system. So I got super sick at FEFOR. I podiumed in Stones of Strength Pro. So that was cool. But so recovering from that competition, recovering from being incredibly sick, like I said, I felt so disconnected from this, from the Husafell, that
Yeah.
it was just not a fun day. And then we ate the fermented shark.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
that
of
was-
course. You have to. Hold on. Yeah.
No, you
It
don't
was
have
fine.
to.
It wasn't
So
that bad.
It was
I have
so
videos
bad.
of
Your
you
body, your
throwing up.
choice.
I threw, yeah. It was
I thought it was fine.
Because
horrible.
you're sick.
I wouldn't choose to eat it again. But it was not throw upable.
It was very throw upable.
They offered
Okay.
me a piece of that shark, and I could
Seriously?
smell it from 10 feet away. I'm like, I'm all set. I'm all good over here. Thank you. No, we're okay.
Would you think it's throw upable, Teresa?
Throw upable isn't even a word. I've smelled dead things that smell better than that. So, as a nurse,
So,
10
because
out of
you're
10
supposed-
horrible smell.
It was a really fun experience to go back. Like I said, I definitely have some unfinished business with that stone. But we'll see what the future holds with that one. But yeah, so yeah, no, go back to it. I did no training for it.
I went
And
in
Nancy,
cold.
I saw you have your hand up.
Pretty much.
Nancy
Well,
put her
I don't
hand
think-
up. She would like to interject.
I don't think there's one perfect way to train for the Husafell for sure. But what people do really need to be mentally prepared for is being uncomfortable. And when I say being uncomfortable, I'm talking like there's one point on your skin somewhere that's being pinched and smushed, or you know, it could be breaking skin and there's blood coming out, but you're like, I'm not bleeding out. It's fine. And I say all of that because, like, if you've seen Sunny the full sturker, you know, she had to put her hands completely under a 330-pound stone in gravel. Like, you have to be very okay with those little moments. The year before I lifted the Husafell, I was prepping for a world record stone lift, and I kept pulling the stones into my right leg harder. And I just had this dark purple VMO section for like 3 months straight. It hurt so bad, but that's how I kept pulling the tension of the stone into my lap. And when I got to the Husafell, like, those are things I had become accustomed to in different stone trainings over the years. Getting to the Husafell and remembering what that feels like when it's pushing up against the top side of your kneecaps, well, not your kneecap, but like top side of your knee, your quad area, you're like, this hurts so bad or so weird, but you're like willing to lean into it because it's not going to kill you and the outcome is going to be so worth it. So in essence, I would just say train, like, work hard, but also be prepared for it to not feel like what you think it's going to feel like at all, especially depending on your height.
Yeah.
That changes a lot.
You just
of
have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
So many random ways to prep for a Husafell, even if you don't have a top closable Husafell where you can flip into your lap. There are uncomfortable ways to play with that concept.
And would you say that, like, training with the top loadable Husafell is translatable or not really? Because there's different grips
I mean-
and stuff on the stone.
Well, to me, that's like if you're training with one natural stone, but that's the stone you train with all the time, that's the only stone you have, you get accustomed to that stone's handles and you start to expect it. So if you were given that stone in comp or a slightly different stone, you would panic because you're like, oh, it's different now. I don't know what to do. Like, find different types of rocks to flip into your lap and find different ways to use sandbags and get creative. Like, yes, you can use the Husafell sandbags and the top closable Husafells, but don't predict or don't get accustomed to that one feeling. It's like not knowing if a log is going to be a 10-inch or a 12-inch. You're going to practice both a little bit or just on different logs to be prepared. So yes and no.
And Tanaya, you did not prepare as well. That was just like a random picking it up.
Yep, no training. I deadlift quite a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I was going to
So
ask,
that
what's your
helps.
max deadlift?
My best ever is 534.
Okay, yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think the big thing about with me getting hurt is that is all I did was squat, bench, deadlift. So that doesn't take you through weird twists and turns and levering backwards with the stone. So I think that, like Nancy said, getting used to being uncomfortable and doing weird things is going to be a key way to make sure to be successful lifting the stone.
Yeah, absolutely. So we haven't heard from Lori, and I want to segue into other things that are uncomfortable. And now we're going to talk about the Dinnie stones. And Lori just recently just hit weight for Dinnie stone. Correct, Lori? You hit the Dinnie stone weights in your training. Tell us
Yeah,
a bit
I did.
about what you're training for and what you've been doing?
Yeah, sure. So I am training to lift the Dinnie stones so that I can qualify to compete at the Jan Todd Games, which happens the next day on August 2nd. I think it's like really cool to be in this like exclusive club where only like 20-ish women in the world have ever done it. I think maybe it's 18 on the spreadsheet that Nancy just linked.
18.
But there might be a couple more before August. You never know. You never know what number you're going to be. But like the fact that the Jan Todd Games is only open to women who have lifted the Dinnie stones, and there's so few of them in the world all time, is like a really cool thing to me. So I'm training for that. I do have the Cerberus rings. So I've been training on those at home. I've been running Gina's program where she has just kind of a linear progression where there's like one heavy day, there's one volume day, and you alternate back and forth. Yeah, so I lifted over 300 kilos for the first time, and I was really excited. So I like posted that on Instagram, and I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like going for the full weight. And everyone was like, go for it. So then the week after I went for the full weight, I got 733 pounds. I was like, oh my God, it happened.
That's
So
incredible.
yeah.
that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I have a photo up in my gym of Rhiannon Lovelace lifting 700 some pounds on like a trap bar deadlift. And it was like the first time I had ever seen someone who was like my size, like lifting over 700 pounds. And I didn't think it was possible previously. So to see that and then to then be able to actually like lift 700 pounds myself, I know it's like not the same lift, but it's still like, it's pretty cool. I don't know.
I mean, you're kind of a dynamo, Lori. You just went pro here in Canada as a pro master strong woman. Congratulations on that. Hopefully,
Yay, Lori!
right?
Woo! Yay!
But I think she's competed, and I'm just trying to remember the post, but definitely like well over. I think it was. What do I say? Like 26 competitions, or maybe that was like
63. I have done
63. Okay,
63
I'm a bit off. A bit off on my research there.
2016.
No, she does 26 when she comes to FEFOR.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one day.
Yeah, 63 is the total number I've done so far.
But
So,
OSG, Strongman Core Canada, you
Arnold.
went to FEFOR, you've done the Arnold, you've done all of the things, as many of you
USS
folks.
Pro Women's Worlds I did once. Yeah.
Yeah, like you just,
Everything.
I'm
Just
not
wanna lift everything.
surprised that once you committed to the Dinnies that you've done it. And I'm super excited to see you accomplish that goal and to see you compete in the Jan Todd Games. And Teresa, you're also doing the same.
Yeah. It's funny because just talking about like doing uncomfortable things, I'm like relatively new. I think I started my first competition, actually my second competition, Nancy was a judge at, for strongman. So that was like maybe 4
I
or
know which
5
one you're
years
talking
ago.
about.
Yeah, in Virginia. So I started competing just to kind of like give myself a goal. You know, I had lost a lot of weight and then like needed strength goals, and my coach said, "Well, like why don't you sign up for something?" So anyway, that's how I got started in strength sports, and I didn't ever think that I was going to want to do any of this stuff, right? Like for me, it was just a way of keeping myself sane and giving myself things to be proud of. So it's been really influential, like meeting Gina and Tanaya and Nancy and then Lori, like all kind of within the same few years. It's really amazing and encouraging to like see them do things. And then I remember having a conversation with Lori, and it wasn't about the Dinnie Sones per se, but it was about something. And I'm like, oh, like I couldn't do that. And Lori said, why couldn't you? And it sounds so stupid, but that was the first time I'm like, why couldn't I do that? Like, why couldn't I? But there's, the internal monologue of self-doubt, like, is pretty strong with a lot of us. But being around people like everybody in this room that are like, well, why couldn't you do that? I did that. I just worked really hard. Like it's possible for you. You just have to want to do it. So that's when I got the idea. The same thing with Stevie being at FEFOR over the summer, like seeing how passionate he was about it, like just how amazing it would be to be a part of that lore and lineage of people that had done this really hard thing. It's kind of like this unifying thing, like you're a part of a group, like you're part of a tribe that you didn't know you needed. So that's my current goal. We're all going together this summer. I tweaked my back a few months ago training it because I mean it's a super awkward movement, right? Like, as you all know, it's a super awkward movement. And when I started increasing my weight, I got really gusto about it. I'm like, okay, I'm in the gym, set up. I ended up laying on the floor of the gym, just incapacitated, not being able to move. And like Tanaya's injury, I'm like, oh, okay, that made me reevaluate. Like, I really do want this. This is really important to me. The fact that it crossed my mind that I might never be able to lift something again because of what I had did, right? So that made me reevaluate my training and kind of tweak stuff and try to make myself stronger on a whole so that doesn't happen again. So like this is the first goal I think I've ever wanted for myself. Like I'm not a super competitive person at all. I'm just happy to be there most of the times. And I'm like, if I do something that makes myself proud, I'm like, all right. But this is the first thing, like tangible thing, like I want to do that. That's we're doing that this summer. So super excited about it.
I need to make a correction. We are at 20 women. I just checked the website because I need to update the list. 20 women have lifted the Dinnies stones.
That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. So you'll hopefully be making it to the 21 and 22. And then you'll be competing. Yeah, then they'll be competing in the Jan Todd Games. So
not just us, because we have our friends coming with us too. So Kiki is coming. She's going to lift the Dinnies.
Oh,
And
yes,
Pauline
Kiki's
is
coming.
The Dinnies.
Yeah, Pauline's coming.
Abs is going in the fall.
Hell yeah.
Tanaya's doing it in October.
Wait, are we all going to the gathering this year?
No. Tanaya and I are going in October.
You're going
and I think
to the gathering?
Mm-hmm.
I know Lori is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing our lift attempt. We're doing our lift attempt the day before at the Abilene Games. So
yes.
I mean, I'm not going to say if we lift them. I'm going to say when we lift them. You know,
of course,
we'll be doing the Jan Todd. Yeah, when we'll be doing the Jan Todd Games. So.
For anybody that doesn't know, ladies can lift with straps, but boys cannot. So the ladies have the wonderful choice.
Nancy, Allie's doing it in November, right? I think her and I were talking about it.
Did I say October? I said,
no, she's going November. Yeah. Tonight and I are going October. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be like T and Lori and Kiki, right? In that group.
Pauline.
And then Pauline. And then y'all will be going in October. And then, so by the end of 2026, we'll probably be on the closer end of 30 because after the Rogue Invitational, more people are going to go out as well since it's already in Aberdeen, which is what we did. I say we. The boys invited us on a road trip last minute last year to go to the Dinnies Stones. And Jen and I had to get back because we were hosting my competition a week later. So we did not get to go on that little adventure. But a bunch of the world's strongest men went out in November and did it, like Trey Mitchell and Lucas.
Is the Rogue sorry, I'm so sorry, Becca. Is Invitational this year? Is it in November? Do you know?
I believe so. I don't know so. Oh, I wonder if it's before that Dinny date that's already scheduled.
And
Nancy is our like researcher here. She's like, I should have her as like a co-host.
Honestly, she's got like spreadsheets.
Last I do. I love this data.
I know, I love it too. Like legit, can you just be my co-host and like pull up all of the information as the podcast guest speak? Sorry, Lori, were you going to say something there?
Yeah, Annika Karhu is going to be at the gathering this year as well. She, I think, currently has the record for like the longest hold with the Dinnies unassisted, and she's going to be aiming to record with a longer hold. So she will be there.
How long is that hold? Without a hold without straps.
I would say like 10 seconds, but maybe longer than that. I don't know.
Gosh, that's strong.
Oh my God, I need.
Annika.
I thought it was Anna for some reason, but
I need to know
I think
her
Annika
secrets.
Karhu has the heaviest hold. Hannah picked them unassisted, but I'm pretty sure that Annika has the hold. Yeah,
Annika was the first to actually do it unassisted.
Yeah,
amazing.
Emma Jane had an unassisted partial,
and then
No, I was 5. It was Annika, then Chloe, then Hannah, then Claire McKinnon, then myself, which is funny. If you talk to Chloe did not consider the
replicas.
The replicas the same. Or was that the conversation? I might be misspeaking. Let me not quote a story I can't remember correctly. But I remember her downplaying one of her achievements in a very humble way because she expects so much more of herself. And I was like, I have to disagree with you because I think that was a great lift.
But actually, let's just stop here for a second, because do you think when we all saw her achieve that at the Arnold's, the road
Yeah.
stage, do you think that kind of like lit a fire for women to, or do you think it like
I
combination
mean,
with
it lit my
lifting?
fire. That's when I
Yeah.
saw it, and
I
that's when I
remember
started to.
what year was that?
2020.
That was 2020.
2020 or
I
20,
didn't even know. I hadn't even
2020?
heard of the Dinnies stones yet. I didn't know Chloe. I hadn't heard of the Dinnies stones yet. I didn't even, and I remember people sending me that video of how like, and I hadn't even gotten into stone lifting yet. People saying like, look at this girl, look at this girl, look at this girl, and thinking that I'm like, oh my god, I saw this so epic video of Chloe before I even knew who she was. So I definitely think that like even women that were interested in lifting, her lift to weight ratio, like how much did she weigh at that time? She was light.
She was U64 because she was competing in
Yeah.
my class at the Arnold.
Oh
And she
wow!
was
Oh,
doing like a
that
full
could have been
competition in
2022.
between events. She like ran in, put on her boots, did the Dinny lift, and then
Yeah.
ran back to do the next event. It was like, bonkers.
And
Yeah,
she had
because
Okay,
that
that
failed
was
might
a
have
the
been
couple of
thing. Yeah.
times.
2022 then.
hmm
Well, I think that's what it was. Or not that, but she did the actual Dinnies in 2019 unassisted. I want to say it might have been that lift that she didn't feel like was what she expected, and lifting them on that main stage was kind of a redemption moment. Again, I don't want to misquote her, but it was a very sweet, like humble thing for her to say. And she might have done the replicas in 2022. I might be wrong about.
Yeah, in 2022. Yeah, and
I'll
it
Google
was so
it. It was
cool to see
2022.
like everyone else miss it, and then Chloe comes up. She's like half the size of everyone else who's attempting
Yes.
it, and then she gets it. Like that's
Hell
so
yeah.
cool.
And I just want the newer listeners, or even like the more experienced listeners, to walk away from this episode to say like, look, anything is absolutely possible if you set your mind to it. Teresa, where are you right now with your training? I know you've been sick and all of that. Like what percentages are you at?
Oh god, you're asking me about percentages. So I
Take another take a smoke.
Roughly,
Get it-
ballpark.
let me crunch those numbers here. So
She's gonna bust out her
um
abacus.
yeah, so
Pass me the data. I'll do the numbers.
before I injured myself, I was before I say only, but before I injured myself, my total weight was only about 450. So like we've reintroduced them slowly. So over the past week, past few weeks we've pushed the weight now that I'm back to to feeling better and more confident. So I'm at 400 now. So I mean, I'm confident that I'll be able to get there before. I have a strong grip. And I'm not going to try to them unassisted. I'm going to try to secure the lift with straps first. But I know that that's not like I haven't pushed myself to my limit yet. So I'm excited to see what I can do in
You
You
the
know
have
next
what?
couple
plenty of
months.
time. That's still a
I'm
really
so
long time.
nervous
You're
about.
what,
I mean,
5,
this is the
4.5
scariest
months
thing I've
away?
ever done. This is the scariest thing I've ever done. I'm actually like, Chloe started doing hypnotherapy stuff, services, and I'm like, because I lay in bed at night and I'm picturing myself in my mind doing it, right? And I'm like, you picture the worst case scenario. I think that's for me is failure. I don't want to disappoint myself. Also, everybody that I've told that I want to do this thing, I don't want them to be like, oh, because they know how badly I want to. I don't want people to feel bad for me because I missed it, or I want to feel proud of myself. So I didn't tell people I was going to try it first, because I'm like, well, if you don't tell them you're trying and then you try and you fail, they can't be disappointed, or you can't be disappointed in yourself because nobody knows,
But
right? Like nobody will know you tried
Teresa,
and failed.
I'm gonna interject here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Nancy, how many women that have done this? 20?
20.
There are 20 women, Teresa, in the entire world that have done this, and there's maybe 25 that have attempted, so a few people haven't got it, maybe.
Yeah.
And you are sitting here and you are being so brave and you're being so strong, and nobody would ever look down on you for going out there and trying your damnedest to do something that's like pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And if you are doing something that most people would never even think about trying to do, and the fact that you're just like, you know what? No, I think I'm really gonna do this. I'm really gonna try and I'm really gonna do it. And that's really cool, man. And nobody would ever be disappointed in you.
Yeah.
That
I
So
think
you need
that's
to
something I have
stop
to
it.
remind I think that's something I have to remind myself of, is that the it's the try, right? It's the try of it all. Like it's I get so fixated on the failure part of it that I forget to enjoy the process of building to that, right?
Mhm.
Because like Sunny has reminded me, no matter if you make it or not this time, you're going to make it next year, right? It's not if, it's when. And if you're not ready this year, then you're going to
Exactly.
be ready next year. And also, and nothing is for naught. This entire time I've gotten stronger. I've learned lessons. The building process, like I'm not the same lifter I was 6 months ago. You know what I mean? So everything is a process of becoming something. Even though it might not be the end goal when I want it to be, things come in time when they're supposed to happen.
But it's that whole journey. And I was talking to like my idol, Derek Poundstone, this past week. And
Ugh.
he was saying, Rebecca, like it's this journey. It is the absolute journey of it. And the pinnacle of it is the actual lift, whether you make it or not. And what you gain from that journey is the self-trust and that commitment to choose yourself over and over and over again in those very small choices. You know, making sure that you get your sleep, making sure that your relationships are on track, making sure that you get your lifts in. But it's all those small self-trust, choosing yourself and not kind of, I don't want to say like flaking out on yourself, that is part of that journey and part of the success. And it was interesting to hear that from him. And that, yeah, like he's done some incredible things, but it's really about that journey of self. It's like, does that make sense to anybody? Or
No,
Absolutely.
it
I
makes sense.
think that
It's like this self-discovery thing. I'm so sorry, Teresa. You go ahead.
no, it's okay. No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, like, for me, I think Gina and Tanaya and Lori and Nancy can all attest to this. I think that, my lifting goals or my process in trying to attain these different little physical feats of strength, through that I have worked through so many things in my life and built confidence in myself and become a different, better version of myself, because there is something to be said about, like you said, with self-care. Like, I want to do this thing. It's in our nature, in our female nature, to care for others, to put everybody else in front of ourselves. And this is the thing that, like, you know what, if I don't put what I want to do first, I'm never going to get to the end product, right? Not that it's ever over, because strength is a lifelong goal, but we're never going to get to the other side of that. And it has taught me how to take care of myself, how to say no to things, how to, be more confident. It's been a whole self transformation. It's not just about lifting. It's not just about picking up rocks. And like, these ladies have been so instrumental. Like, I get a little misty when I think about it, because I see these ladies more than I do some people that live in my own town or some of my family. Like, uh, Tanaya and Gina, I see them, like, they live in California. I see them like 4 times a year. You know what I mean? Like, they've become my family. And that's really, like, I think all we've ever wanted is just this unit of people that recognizes we're like this island of lost misfit toys, that none of us really like fit into where we were supposed to, but yet somehow as a collective are solid, So it's been
I,
the single most life-changing thing I've ever done.
I've told people, because they're like, why is stone lifting important to you? And I'm just like, I've given a lot of myself to stone lifting, but also look at what stone lifting has given us.
Yeah.
Like Teresa said, like, I have friends that live, I'm not even kidding, just a few miles from me, if less than that. And I see Teresa more than I see them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild.
We've built, and we are so fortunate to be a part of this small community of women that do stone lifting, which we would love to have it be a bigger community, because we need more women to do stone lifting.
Yeah.
But this little tiny little baby group that we're in, and I remember when I started getting into stone lifting and I was coached by Leifa. And Leifa was like, my goal is to have this like group of women to do stone lifting and to travel the world and just pick up rocks together. And I don't know if she's realized this, but like that has absolutely come into fruition. We
Yeah.
are just this like little band of merry women that want to get together, and we want to pick up rocks, and we want to eat soup, and we want to play in the forest.
Or me, like,
Yeah.
looking through my bags when I go to like I put on a fanny pack the other day, and I reached in the pocket and there was a pebble from a beach from Iceland that Nancy had gave me, because she's like, here, T, I really like this one, and I kept it and I have it as a part of my pocket rocks. And like, how many adult women do you know
Tanaya,
that
how
just
many
collect
pocket
rocks?
rocks do you have?
Yeah, I was going through my fanny pack the other day and cleaning it out, and I found out I had 6 rocks from different places that I had just kept. I'm like, I like this rock in particular. Let's keep this with me all the time.
When we
Dude,
were
I'm
in
telling you,
Iceland,
when
we
you
were in
go to
Iceland
Iceland
last
or
summer.
anywhere, oh,
Yes. No, I'm so sorry, Nancy. No, I was just saying when we were in
no.
Iceland last summer, we took our friend Emily with us, and it was her first time at FEFOR, and then we took her to Iceland afterwards. And I was sitting on some big rocks on the beach, just watching Emily and Tanaya just scour the beach, just head down, like 100 yards away from each other, head down, come up, and they like came up to me. They're just like, "Look what we found."
But this is
So
the
I was,
thing,
Penguin.
Go ahead,
Nancy.
Nancy.
I was gonna say you got to wear like the Wrangler tactical pants with cargo pockets all over them because you fill
The
them with
built to my
rocks.
pants.
And
Oh,
funny
yeah,
story,
hell
I know
yeah.
exactly what little rock, the little rock Teresa's talking about. I remembered it. And when I got home and I'm unpacking my bags and looking through all my rocks, I'm like, where's that cute little pebble? Because I forgot I had given it to her. And then she tells me a few months later, and I'm like, oh, that's where it went. Okay. But when I was at the Husafell, I found one that was shaped like the Husafell. Allie found
Oh
one that
my
was shaped
God.
like the Husafell at the Husafell. So I put my Husafell date on it, and it sits by my picture with the Husafell. And it's like, you know, I
Oh.
have a rock from FEFOR Mountain after I set a world record. Like, you collect all these rocks across the world and make sure you're respectful where you're allowed to collect rocks. But like,
Sure.
they start to mean something. You have this random rock
Mhm.
decor around your home that it's exciting. Like, I have a feather in my purse that lives in my purse from C.B. Shanks from when I lifted the Dinnies stones, and it means a lot to me. Like, it just lives in my purse. You collect these
Mhm.
random earthly artifacts, and you know where they
Yeah.
came from. You know what story they hold.
Like little
Does
wood
anyone else
witches with our
forget where they came from? Sometimes I find rocks in my house and I'm like, oh, I don't know where this one's from.
I have
It's
so many
it's really
rocks
just
in
from
my
the
game room. I have
driveway.
this big shelf. Yeah. Oh, and
Do you guys
Shania,
put
tell
notes
them
on your
when we came
rocks?
back. Shania, tell them when we
I
came back
really
from
should.
Iceland and you got stopped.
Oh, yeah. On the way back from Iceland last year, I got stopped because I had so many rocks in my carry-on. They're like, what are all these? I'm like, I just really like rocks, okay?
Funny you say that. When I left Scotland after the gathering last year, I had a stick that was this long for the dog. I had a rock that was this big, and I had a plant that was in, like, it was a backside of a Highland cow was the plant. And I had all of them in my carry-on. And they go to take my stick, and I start to argue about the stick. I'm like, no, I need that stick for my dog. And they're like, it's too pointy. You could hurt someone. As I'm holding a rock, like, as big as a
Wait, I
dinosaur
can
egg.
bludgeon your
And I'm
skull in
like,
with this. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, you know what? Keep the stick. I'll keep the stick. I will leave. So
Yeah.
I kept my rock and my plant. Now the government knows that I took a
Yeah.
plant
Yeah.
from Scotland.
Ah.
Oops.
But this is
You're on a list.
the thing I wanted to point out. Like, I've only met Lori in person. I've met all of you online. Tanaya, you're the latest one that I've met. But all through my stone journey of the years, I have, got messages from you all, hearts, likes, comments, all the things. And this is what I want other women to understand, is that this is the community you're joining. It's super supportive. I mean, Lori is like my number one cheerleader. She's always up for my antics, my competitions, my things that I try at my house,
I love
like
antics.
whatever I'm doing. And this is the girlhood you're joining. And whether you join at lifting a 50-pound stone or the Husafell stone, you're all members.
Yeah. I
One come
my
on.
one rule in life is if you don't like Lori, I don't like you. Like, there's no one that
Yeah.
I know that doesn't like Lori. If you don't like Lori, like, that is the baseline for if I think you're a good person or not. If you don't like Lori, then you must be like, no, sorry. Not that I've met
No.
anybody yet that doesn't like Lori, but if there's someone out there, then they wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could dislike Lori.
No,
And like
No.
Teresa said, if they don't like Lori, then
we
they
don't
don't
like you.
belong here.
She's a little
Yeah.
Canadian angel.
So I just realized we're already into an hour and we haven't like hit on everything. So let's talk.
Oh, sorry,
let's
go ahead.
specifically talk about
I'm
Jan
sorry.
Todd games.
You want to hit everything stones in 1 hour? You're crazy.
No, we
Get
haven't
outta
even
here.
really got into it yet. But let's just like briefly talk about the gathering and give a plug for the Jan Todd games. I know Nancy and Gina.
Mhm.
Tanaya, did you do it as well or no?
No.
Okay. And then Lori and Teresa, you will be doing it because you're lifting the Dinnies. So let's just take a quick stop about that experience. Because you're, again, a small group of women who've actually participated in this.
So I did Jan Todd Games in 2024. So I did the same thing that pretty much everybody else, all the girls doing the Dinnies right now. You do the Dinnies. Oh, God. So you do the Dinnies at the Aboyne Games the day before, and then you compete in Jan Todd Games. Teresa, I'm going to tell my favorite story from my Dinnie experience. So Tanaya and myself and Emma Jane got an Airbnb in Aberdeen because she lives in a different part of Scotland. So we get there, and there's 2 rooms. There's a room with 2 small beds and a room with 1 big bed. And I was like, oh, Ty, do you want to take the 2 small beds? We'll take this room. And then EJ can have the room with just the 1 bed. And Tanaya was like, no, EJ's friend's joining us. And Tanaya and I always share when we travel because like we're cheap and we try to travel as much as possible. So we do that, and then we get settled in, and then the next day we go to the Aboyne Games. I lift the Dinnies. It was like the coolest experience ever. I had like 1 brain cell left. And so EJ's driving, and we're headed back. We were going to go to the Airbnb, change, and then go out to dinner. And I realized we're not at the Airbnb, and we're at the Aberdeen airport. And I was like, well, what are we doing? What's going on? And Tanaya's like, oh, we got to pick up EJ's friend. Because like I'm in the back seat playing on my phone, like posting my Dinny lift, like a little kid, like, Moms, where are we going?
And I have to take over because EJ is terrible at lying.
Oh, the
she
worst.
is just there like sweating bullets. Like I'm not going to say anything or I'm going to spill this.
And I was like, well, where's her friend coming from? And there was like this long pause. So apparently EJ was just like shitting herself. We didn't know what to say. Tanaya said some city. I'm like, dude, you could have said like North Dakota, and I would have been like, yeah, totally.
Sure.
And then they were like, oh, there she is. And I turn around like instinctively. And Teresa was in Ireland the day before for a wedding. And I was super bummed that she was going to miss my Dinny lift because she was going to be so close. So I see it's Teresa. I start screaming. I start ugly crying because Teresa flew out because she wanted to see my Dinny lift. But it got moved to the day before because of Jan Todd Games. So aside from actually lifting the Dinnie stones, that was literally the highlight of my Dinnie stone experience was Teresa flying out and surprising me. But anyways, we all got to dinner. The next day, we do Jan Todd Games, and there was 6 or 7 of us, I think, that year. It was a small group, and
you do have
it
to
was
lift
just
the Dinnies to be able to play.
Yes.
That's like
Yeah, that's why
we chose to do it the day prior, but like once you've lifted them, you're in the club for life
Yeah.
to compete.
Yeah. So that's why Stevie was like, you have to lift them the day before. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, whatever sounds good. Just like, tell me where and when I need to be there. And I'm there. So the Jan Todd Games, it was really cool. You're at the Potart Cafe. So there's this like big park outside of it. And it's at the gathering. There's people that are there to lift the Dinnies for to do that. There's the nickel stones to walk. There's it's all stone related events. It was just truly super fun. And it was, what was it, like the second or third Jan Todd Games? What's
I
that,
had a
Teresa?
question for you, actually, Gina. When you were going in,
Miss Troiani.
thank you, Miss Jenkins.
You have the
Did you
floor.
know? Did you know going into that competition, like, do they let you know before the Jan Todd Games events, weights, or are you just flying blind? You're like showing up and lifting whatever they give you.
No, you have all the events, all of the weights you have. It's actually very detailed. Was yours pretty detailed, Nancy?
It is. Yeah, it's a really cool PDF. If they could take like an old-timey piece of paper and make a PDF, that's what they send you. And it's like in old-timey English parts of it. Like it's very, very
That's cool.
It was, so you have everything ahead of time. You know what you're doing. And honestly, like I'm not going to say I didn't care about how well I did because I actually did pretty terribly, but I didn't realize how taxing it was going to be the next day after that huge adrenaline dump of just lifting the Dinnies. But it was this really cool experience. It's like this smaller competition, because I mean, we're in the middle, we're in Scotland. Like, not everybody's going to come out and be able to do it. And it was like weirdly intimate, you know? Like, Shania was there, Teresa was there. I'm still ugly crying at the thought of Teresa flying out to surprise me.
And I knew that she was going, Gina. Like Teresa had told me that
Dude, everybody knew. Apparently they'd planned this for months. Everybody knew.
I think I more than I love being aggressively supportive more than I like competing, like, or lifting anything. I'm like, I love just like showing up. I love it.
But it was, I don't know, the competing in Gen Con games, because it's such a newer competition, to be a part of it so early, it's really cool. Like, I call her Mrs. Dr. Jan Todd, is such an inspiration to me. And I always complain about this because I feel like a lot of newer athletes and new people into the sport don't know who she is. And I'm just like, girls, you need to
She's the godmother.
If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have any of this. We wouldn't have powerlifting. There wouldn't be women's bodybuilding. There wouldn't be anything for women's strength sports. She paved the way for all of us to be able to do what we do. And so to be able to compete in her like namesake competition, it was so incredibly special for me, because I don't really fangirl over anybody, because we're all just people. Some people are stronger than other people, but we're all just people. But she is the one person that I, like, the first time I met her, I was just like, hi, excuse me, Mrs. Dr. Jan Todd. I love you so much.
She's famous amongst like the weirdest misfits types of people.
Yeah.
I mean, she lifted the Dinnies in 1979, and she's still active on the promotion side. Like, like just last weekend, she was backstage on the Rogue Pro Strongman stage, like still in the mix of it. It's insane. And like Gina said, she goes to the gathering.
She's just absolutely incredible.
And I just saw, I think it was yesterday, Nancy, Braemar Media, you were lifting. Was that part of the gathering to the barrels? You were lifting to the barrels?
If it was the stones to the barrels, yes. And at that point,
that's from the gathering.
Yeah.
Sorry, she's drinking water.
My back was completely blown out at that point. And I'll be honest with you. I packed a lot into last summer, and I know that. I asked myself to compete at World's Strongest Stone Lifter, and I won. I was very proud of that. I set a world record there. And then I went to Iceland and did the Husafell twice. And then 2 weeks later, I sent myself to Scotland, did the Dinnies Stones on Friday, started competing in the Jan Todd games, and then did the Dinnies Stones again in the middle of the day because I had a different kind of itch I needed to scratch. But my body was already sending me signals. Your lower back is uncomfortable. So those videos that they've been sharing, I love those videos, but the very last stone is only 275 pounds. And I remember being so angry at myself in that moment and feeling like embarrassed. And I'm like, that moment where you're like, we've all had that moment where you're like, I'm supposed to be good for this, whatever. And I get it up to the barrel. And it was the fact that like everyone didn't care. No one's like, oh, you're supposed to have done that better, or you're supposed to have done this. Like nobody cared that I felt like my back was just toast at that point. They weren't worried about that stuff. They were just excited for me to finish the event and cheer me on, to the point where when I finally put it on the barrel and I'm like balancing it, it's like 30 seconds of me balancing it before the guy's like, hey, you have to take your hands off for the time to stop. And I was like, oh yeah, oh that part, like, oops,
whoopsies.
It just, it doesn't matter where, if you make mistakes. I mean, it matters to you, obviously, but it's a different kind of making a mistake or being frustrated with yourself in that environment, because it's such a small festival that the people that came there are literally there to see what you're doing, and they're obsessed with what you're doing. So it just doesn't matter. Like, and I love those videos because, you see in the comments, people are like, oh, she's blowing her back out. Blah, blah. And I was like, joke's on you. It was already blown. Funny enough. But no, Gerald, you couldn't do that. So shut up.
Exactly.
They do really creative events. And Gina was right. Last year was the second year, or 2024 was the second year. 25 was the third year. They've started putting plaques on the Jan Todd trophy. So you get to add your name to the plaque when you win. And the goal is to not
You get
make,
to
but
add your
use
name
different
next to Hannah's
historical.
name.
Yeah, like Sunny got to do it last year. She was so excited.
Hannah.
But
I
they
know.
take these historical medleys or historical stones and create new medleys. So it's slightly different, slightly similar each year, but it's always with history and with respect. And it's just a wonderful time. I mean, Stevie Shanks is the organizer of Dinnies stone lift attempts now. His father was the first person to lift them when they were pulled out of the river post World War II, Jack Shanks. And he was at the gathering at the Aboyne Games. I want to say he's 97. I might be wrong about that, but he is still just the excitement he gets watching somebody lift those Dinnie stones. You would think that he birthed the stones. Like, it is so beautiful the way that certain people are obsessed with the stone culture that they've either cultivated or they're kind of in charge of. Like, everyone has this pride, and it's a wonderful environment. It really is. It's my
Yeah.
soapbox.
Were you going to say something, Lori?
Maybe. Lori, you look
Trying
so
to unmute.
pretty.
Oh, I wish you knew sign. I wish we knew sign.
Oh, God, that'd be so cool.
Mm. Yeah, I know. The only thing church. Beautiful church.
Jack Shanks is 90 years old, according to the
Oh,
internet.
okay. Perfect.
Oh, our other little researcher.
Like, and
Nerd.
this is the best thing about being with women on a podcast is that, like, I am completely supported and covered for any facts, anything that I need, snacks, smokes, you name it.
You name it, we got it.
So,
Pocket
Got
rock.
you,
okay.
babe.
Now,
Pocket rock.
we are going to the pinnacle of pinnacle girl camps of stones, FEFOR, which is
Yeah.
where all of you come together and participate. And so let's talk a little bit about FEFOR. I think Lori's been going the longest, so we'll start off with Lori. No?
Me and Gina and Tanaya have all been for the last several years, since 2022.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, Lori, kick it off. Talk to us about your FEFOR experiences.
Oh my
And
goodness.
how do you get to FEFOR? I mean, there's a couple pathways to FEFOR.
Like, literally, how do you get there? Or just
You board a
take
plane.
First thing first, you get your passport.
So FEFOR Power Week is pretty cool. Because you go there and then you're there for like 10 days straight, but like you're eating breakfast together, you're eating soup together, you're eating dinner together. So it's just like you form these bonds that are like so much stronger than you ever would at any strongman competition where like you just go and you compete and you go home. So it's like it's pretty cool. It's basically like an adult strength competition summer camp. So the first year you go, you feel like, you're going away to summer camp, you're meeting new friends, you have your camp friends, whatever. And then like the second year you come back, you are coming back like family. It is like people like know each other, they love each other. It's like this place is like really, really special. It's like it's not just a competition.
No.
So, Lori, you didn't compete together.
What do you mean?
No, like, okay, so for example, like Nancy.
Oh, to qualify to get to
Yeah.
FEFOR?
Oh, no, you can just show up. Anyone who gets to FEFOR can just compete. So they have like amateur competitions and they have pro level competitions. So to get to the pro level competitions, you have to actually qualify. You have to win other competitions to get there. But to compete in like the amateur or the pro-ams, you could just like turn up and be like, I'm here to compete.
And Nancy, you did the pro.
Correct. Last 2 years.
Yeah, because, and so talk to us a bit about that process through the United States. Because in Canada, we have one qualifier here and that's the one that we organize or I organize, and that'll be coming up in June. But talk to us about the pathway in the US.
So the pathway in the US is usually under Francis Brenner through IHGF. So it does fall into like, you feel you're either at a Highland Games competition with a strongman sideshow. Actually, I mean, that's the answer. You're there at one of these Celtic festivals around the country, or you're signing up, going to FEFOR and doing one of the amateur competitions and taking first. So you have to win the amateur Stones of Strength to then graduate up to it was Pro Stones of Strength. Now it's World's Strongest Stone Lifter. So I actually was invited out for my first time in 2024, and like everybody else, I was like, "Oh, once in a lifetime thing," blah 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 blah. And then the next year, I was like, "I'm obviously going back." And
Yeah.
crap, there was something Teresa said the other day that I was going to quote her on, but I forget right now. Yeah, I mean, you act like it's a once in a lifetime chance, and then you realize realistically, if you wanted to, you can go every year, go every other year, and make it a valuable part of your summer because that's what it is. And last year, I used that as the way to go to Iceland and extend my trip that way, things like that. But it's not crazy hard to get there. You just have to find the right stone show in the States or be willing to go out there for the first year and win the amateur show.
That's amazing. And so, what are like some of the events that are they this are the events the same for the pros as the AMs?
No.
No,
Okay.
but there's overlap. Like there's similarities, and girls that go every year, you start to know some of the like they have concrete and granite atlas stones depending on where they came from. So you start to know the atlas stones differently. You start to know some of the natural stones that live there consistently because the pitch is where a lot of the stuff lives out in the front yard. Some of it is transported back and forth, but you start to get familiar with some of the rocks, so you kind of have that advantage.
Was that where you did your world's record, Nancy?
Twice, yes.
Twice.
I have this. Well, I'm not saying that's. It's because I have this joke now that I have to miss a world record somewhere else to then get it at FEFOR. I went to Ireland. I flew to Ireland in 2024 to set a world record, and I had been under. Oh, so this was crazy. The way it was run, they were telling us the ladies were now going to load their world records to 44 inches, and I believe that for some reason. That's on me. When I get there, Sunny and I are talking, and she's like, "Well, you can't break a past world record that was loaded to 48 inches at 44 inches, or 48 inches or 120 centimeters." I'm like, crap, you're right. So we agreed to go for the higher option, and I didn't make it. Then I go to FEFOR 2-3 months later, and I finished. Well, I didn't even finish the medley as a medley. And I asked if I could just do the last stone again, and I do the last stone again, and I don't realize it, but they brought out a stone that we weren't expecting. We were told it was going to be 150 kilos. It was 161.3 kilos. And I loaded it, and I hear Lutz say it on the speaker in my video. So I'm watching my video back before I even realized that I just broke a world record because I had been going for this world record. Fast forward to 2025, I'm attempting to break my own world record in Jacksonville, North Carolina in January. I miss it. I don't extend high enough. I can't get up on my toes. Go back to FEFOR, set another world record. Also, like kind of in the same format, except this time there was more pressure because I felt like I knew what was going on this whole time. The first time I had the privilege of not knowing I was fighting for a world record at the moment. This time I knew that Dave and Eggle had gone and they had driven like 5 hours to pick up the stone for me. And Gabby Burgelser had like cleaned it off for me. Like she had spent hours like scraping it down and cleaning it. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much pressure. And then I said it, and it was like magical because it was in the same spot. The first time I was breaking Sunny's record in front of Sunny with her screaming for me off to the side. Second time, Sunny's there. Leif was standing there as my judge, or it was Nick. I think they were both there. But like the people of the historic stone moment standing around you as you're doing these things is just like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's like crack.
So any
And
advice?
T, you can hear T screaming in both my videos. She's the one
If I've
that's
ever
just
been
like,
at any of your competitions, you'll always hear me in the background like a demon.
That's how I know when you cough.
It's the best scream.
We don't do
So
cute
any
little coughs like Gina.
advice for folks on Atlas stone loading? Like I know I've seen the world record, but I can't recall like what do you do for your hand position? Are you like at an 11-1, or what would you?
You're gonna get me on a soapbox if you're not careful. I start at 10-3.
10-3,
And when you
yeah.
lap it, you're starting at 10-3, and when you lap it, you bring one foot in, and you're going to 9-2. And the biggest thing, honestly, if I was going to give one piece of advice about loading Atlas stones, it's look up then over, because people are looking right at the platform, and you see it time and time again. They extend high and they smack right into the platform because they're only looking at the platform. If you're looking up, you can go up, 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 up. The stone's going to pull you over. We could talk about this for hours, but if I was being short.
No, but I do want to talk about it for a little bit, because then we'll talk about favorite FEFOR experiences. Because I do want folks, I mean, obviously I'm biased. Atlas stones were my gateway. Was out there practicing tacky stones today and I'm out of practice. But let's talk about some tips and advice. And Nancy, you can start, and then for those that want to join in can also give some advice as well.
Cool. Simple advice, because I have whole descriptive write-ups on this matter.
Nancy's like,
You
hold on,
need
let me
to-
screen share this presentation really quickly that I've put together.
Like, you need to, one, understand what a triple extension truly looks like. Like, yes, it's your ankles, it's your hips, it's your knees, but there's an implied thoracic extension, and you need to know what that feels like at your end range, because that's ultimately where you're going to be. The shorter you are, the closer or at your end range you're going to need to be to successfully load Atlas stones to higher surfaces. And once you're getting things to your lap and you know how to triple extend and roll that stone up your body, the weight's not the problem. Like, if you can get it to your lap and you know how to triple extend, you can do it. It's
Okay,
just
why don't I
teaching
know-
people those things specifically.
Okay, but why 9 and 2 and not 11 and 1? Because, like, wouldn't that give you more extension? Like, I'm really interested in why 9 and 2 hand position.
You're talking, oh, wait, I need to see a clock. I'm getting confused. Here's my clock. Okay. I see what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm putting that below. If we're calling 9 and 3 the equator, for some reason, I'm
Yeah.
putting that I flipped it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? So, yes, we could say between 10 and 11 and 1 and 2.
Mhm.
The point
Okay.
just being that you need to go from here to here. For me,
Right.
I am far closer to a 10 and 2. And a lot of people I know that is your hug abilities and your ability to keep it pinned to your chest is much stronger here than right here.
Right.
But I do see what you're saying now that I understand clocks.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
No, but either, yeah, 10 and 2, 11 and 1, like anywhere in between there is really good. And looking up and over. And what else would this PowerPoint presentation say if you had to give one piece of final advice on Atlas stones?
You're front squatting it out of the hole.
Okay.
You're not hip thrusting it. You're front squatting, and that goes into the up and over part. You're front squatting up before, like, as you're front squatting, it's riding up your body because you have pinned it to your chest so well in the lap. See, now I'm skipping around. When it's in your lap, you're pinning it nice and tight to your chest so that when you're front squatting it up, you're going up then over. It makes it a much more fluid motion.
Okay. Well, you have it here from a world record holder. I really appreciate this, Nancy, because I myself am getting back into tacky stones. So we'll see how those quick changes help me. But FEFOR, we're not done here yet because I've heard of some various antics and stories, and it's an absolute wild time. And I would like each of you to give me your favorite stories coming out of FEFOR. Okay, so we'll start with Teresa and we'll try to figure out what's going.
Okay, so favorite, I think so much goes on during this week. I think you have to ask me what's my favorite competition moment or my favorite personal moment, because there's so much of both that goes on. So, or just like out of everything.
Sure, you just name something and we're going to go with it.
Okay. I think outside of the competition field and the experiences that I have there, one really amazing experience is taking group hikes up to FEFOR camping, and like how challenging that is, just because I mean, I have the lung capacity of a 12-year-old girl, you know what I mean? Like I have a very hard time hiking. So making it up there with everybody like encouraging you. I remember like everybody stops when it's like a group thing, you're such a unit. Everybody stops when somebody needs to stop, but to make it up to the top and just overlook all of FEFOR, the lake, and you're standing there with this group of people and you've just done this amazing thing. It's a really like emotional kind of like spiritual experience to just look down and like take it all into where you actually are, because the landscape is amazing, right? Like it's just one of the most beautiful places in the world. And to be at the top of that summit with some of the, people that you love the most is really cool. It's like Charlie Brown's
So my favorite,
teacher.
yeah. Um, so my favorite experience is kind of from the first year that Gina and I went, and it's from the first year Gina and I went, um, and it's kind of extended past. It's become a whole thing, and it's the breakfast table. So we sit at this specific table at breakfast, and we have our friends from the Netherlands there, and it's this looking out onto the field and looking out onto the lake that's at FEFOR, and just sitting there like with our coffee and all the cool different things that they have for breakfast all the time, because it's like a nice big buffet with Norwegian food that's delicious, and kind of just a chill moment before the day starts to unwind and, you know, amp yourself up and get ready for everything.
One other thing that I like about the breakfast table is that like the table gets bigger every year.
Yes.
So the first
Yeah, we
year
Yes.
we
started
were
going
there, we
long
would like
ways, and now
run
they
out of
leave it.
space and it would fill up. And then we'd have people who were like, oh, I want to be at this table, but I can't be. I'm going to have to sit at this other table. And then we just kept pulling together more tables. So it was like 20 people long sometimes. We just put it.
I got ya.
Yeah, and it's fun because the first couple days the workers will move the table back
Yeah.
into spots, and then they'll be like, okay, this is stupid, we can't do this, these people are going to ruin our tablescapes anyways. Like, you could just have your long table.
And Gina,
hmm Um. So okay, the second year that tonight I went. So in case you guys haven't caught on, tonight I do everything together. Um. But Nancy, we're
Are they
not dating.
dating?
We're not dating.
Our
I have wow. I was gonna say I have pictures that prove otherwise, but that sounds really bad. That's not what I mean. We've staged photo shoots to mess with people.
um, the second year we went, so there's the lake and then there's an indoor pool. And was it the second or the third year, Tanaya? The second year, sorry, I think. I don't know. One of the years we went,
I don't know what you're talking
we got to Oslo like a few days beforehand, and we're like, oh my gosh, we want to get pool floaties. So Tanai and I searched all over Oslo, and we found them in this like random store, and we bought 2 pool floaties, and they had glitter inside them, and so mine was green and hers was pink. And we would put these floaties on, and we would go down to the pool, and then we just left the floaties in the lobby for anybody else to use them. And it was just like fun because like the water gets a little bit choppy, and you're just like just float along. And then another couple that was there, they went down into Vinstra and they bought a unicorn floaty and then an alligator raft. And so then we had more in the lobby. And so Anna Greta, the owner of the hotel, let us leave them. And then last year, we all brought, well, most of us brought pool floaties, and I think a lot of us left them there because Anna Greta just let us leave them there because we're like, listen, anybody could use these. I know you guys are super busy all of the time. When we're gone, if anybody else wants to take the floaties, like please feel free, because we usually bought them at the end of summer. Like I bought this like weird looking T-Rex, and I bought it for like $5 at like Party City. But from now on, like we go and get pool floaties, we blow them up, and we leave them in the lobby. And whoever wants to just takes the floaty, wrap it around you, then you just waddle down the hill. And we like almost like tied ourselves down. There was like a huge group of us last year. Like I think Emma Jane was like grabbing onto my ankle, and we were just all like linked up, and we spent so long in the lake just floating and just we all call FEFOR summer camp because it truly is just like an adult summer camp, and we just get to have fun and play in the Norwegian mountains with our friends.
But also, it is really, really cold in that lake. Like, this is a
Last
glacier
year
lake
wasn't that
where, like, the
bad.
snow melts into it, and it is very cold.
It feels
I'm not
Like,
great.
allowed
maybe a
near the
floaty.
floaties.
What happened? Oh, the night. The night floaties.
Oh God, I think that's my favorite memory now.
But you guys were how many bottles of wine deep?
8.
Oh,
That
4.
is it.
Oh,
I was like already in
4 apiece.
Iceland, and they're like, "Look what we're doing," and they're like skating
I
across the
almost
front
we
lawn
got
made
this-
myself
in
a
the rain.
paraplegic.
We had this idea, Becca. So again, we're 8 bottles of wine deep, and because it's cheaper to buy by the bottle than buy by the glass, so obviously
of
we're going to keep
course.
cost effective.
Right.
Duh.
Right.
So
Duh.
we get we're like, somehow, I don't know how it happened. We're talking about slip and slides, and we're like, no, because they have like carts with like some toiletries in the hallways, with like towels and toiletries. And I was like, listen, we can get one of them shampoos, put it on the bottom of one of
Open
them
up.
floaties, and Teresa's running and jumps on it, trying to slide across the grass at like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah. It was like a tank. It was like a tank.
Yes, it was a
I don't understand physics, first of all, and me running full barrel I didn't talk to anybody about a plan. I'm just like, yeah, we soaked it up. I got this. We're doing it. And I just ran full speed across the wet grass and tip over ass, almost broke my neck, laid there. So we're not allowed near the floaties
That's the
this
video.
year.
Yeah.
But that was
That
the
was
first time. Then
Gabby.
you're like,
Gabby
let's
brought
run
a
it
whole
back.
tank blow up, like
Her
inflatable.
floaty
Like,
was
it was
fine.
ridiculous. Oh, I remembered how I was going to quote Teresa, and this is so relevant to what we're talking about right now. Teresa said once, she was like, FEFOR's like that thing you want to tell everybody about, but also you don't want to tell anybody about it because we have such a good group of people. She's like, what if we invite too many people and bad people mess it up?
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's pretty well spoken.
And Lori, what's your favorite moment?
I don't know about a favorite moment, but it's just like the community, the vibe,
Yeah.
Kiki and Eagle have worked so hard to like make this such a special place, and like they put rules in place, they have like fun stuff in the evening, they make it so that like everyone has a good time, and like
Mhm.
it's just really special.
Mom and Dad do a great
And-
job.
Thank
They
you.
really
Yeah.
do.
I met her the other week in person, and it was just so amazing. Like, I can hardly wait for my turn at summer camp, and it will not be this year, but I'm hoping next year will be the year. So
We welcome you with open
we'll
arms.
see.
When you
I think
come,
you have to plan for it the first year, but then after that, it just seems like
It
a
just-
no-brainer.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll be so
You
honest.
are you gonna try to go for the full Lori?
I have to go for the full Lori.
You
Can we
have to go
yeah.
for the full
Try not
Lori.
to die. It's excessive.
Yeah.
Can
Coming
we
from
tell
you.
folks, Lori, tell
I
the
don't
folks about the full Lori.
You do everything when you get to FEFOR. So the first year
Basically
I
every
went,
competition, right?
it was like
Mhm.
the first year that they had like strongman and strongwoman competition. It was like Louisa won the first one. So I was like, okay, if I'm going over there, while I'm there, I might as well sign up for like everything else that's going on. So I'm doing like Highland games for the first time. I'm doing Stones of Strength for the first time. I'm doing like whatever else is going on. We're like arm wrestling. We're doing Viking games. We're doing like all kinds of mad stuff. And it was just like super fun. So now every time I go, I just like sign up for everything, and it's super fun. But it's like a lot sometimes, 'cause if you're competing like twice a day and you've already done like 5 Highland Games events, and then you try to go to Stones of Strength, it is like hard.
We have this joke that Lori like is just powered off of maple syrup, and that she's like secretly chugging like a hummingbird, like maple syrup in her
Okay,
room.
but
and
have
that's
you
what
had
powers this
pancakes with her, Teresa? Teresa,
Yeah,
if you've
yes.
ever had pancakes with this woman, you know she is 100% powered off of maple syrup.
That's
like a little
regular amount
Canadian
of maple syrup
hummingbird.
where I come.
That is not a regular amount of syrup, Lori.
In Canada, that's a regular amount of maple syrup. You just cover the pancakes and cover them.
It's like you're having a side of pancakes with your syrup.
That's
It's like
fine.
you're having
That's
syrup
normal.
soup with like pancake croutons.
That's normal. It's fine.
Oh my God. And so I've just been sitting here realizing that because I want to talk about training next. And I just realized that I basically fangirl all of you. But yet at the same time, I feel like we are buddies and friends, and just like, but yet it's normal. Like it kind of is so odd sitting here with you all finally talking face to face, because I fangirled you from Instagram and afar. Like Nancy, I've watched your world record Atlas Stone lift multiple times. I've watched you
Gina, I've watched you in the gym with your shield guards for your. Can we actually, I want to talk about that. Let's go a side diversion before we talk about more in-depth training. But talk to me about your current Dinnie training and these shield guards that you have.
So I'm doing this side quest with the Dinnies right now, and I'm not going to name it because then it's real and it's too much pressure. But when you side by side pick up the Dinnies, it hurts really bad, and especially when you have to use kilo plates. Even when I straddle lifted the Dinnies, I had bruises on the back of my like calves for God, how long, Tanaya? For like the longest time, because it's just I mean, if you're not in the correct position, just right back there. So when you side by side pick them up, it just eats away at the side of your legs. So one of the guys, so Ty and I train at Untamed Strength in Sacramento in Northern California, and we're just so fortunate to train there. But a lot of our members are not a lot, but there's a few members there that are fabricators. So if there is equipment that we need, or if they see a need, it gets made, and there it is. So one of the guys at the gym saw what I was doing, and I had just used bumper plates as leg guards at the time. And he saw that, and he looked up, and he had seen, I cannot remember his last name right now, John on Instagram. He's Highland Wolf Strength. John Gibbs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, John.
I was going to say Gibbs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
John Gibbs also makes those, but he's in Scotland. So one of the guys at the gym just manufactured some for me, so that way I don't eat up my legs, because it hurts really, really bad, and I'm just a girl. Shit hurts.
Just a girl with a dream.
Just a girl, man. So those were made for me to take on this little fun little thing that I'm trying to do.
Awesome. So that's a nice segue into the training part. So we've got FEFOR coming up. We've got the Jan Todd games. Let's talk about what your stone training looks like. And Lori, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so my main focus since last July has been on the Dinnies. So I'm doing Dinnies twice a week, and then with that I sprinkle in also some strongman stuff. So I'm still doing like overhead presses, deadlifts, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm just really super excited to lift the Dinnies. And then at FEFOR I'll be doing the strong woman competition. Probably also like the Highlander. Probably also Stones of Strength. I don't know. We'll see.
Lori's like, I'm gonna do Louisa. I'm doing Stones of Strength. I'm gonna do Mountain Madness. I'm gonna do Highland Games. I'm gonna do arm wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Viking Games. I'm gonna do grip.
Table tennis.
Can we talk about
There's a table tennis in that room downstairs, so we can play that.
Tanaya, are you training arm wrestling this year?
Yeah, Gina and I are both going to arm wrestle, and apparently not each other. We have other people that we have to go against.
Tanaya.
Oh, Tanaya's totally going to win. She's incredible at arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Like,
Tanaya's got some scary upper body. Like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Tanaya,
all respect.
From pulling with her, she's such an incredible arm wrestler. That's also why I want to get some candy cigarettes, so we can just put a candy cigarette in our mouth and just go
can
for
we do
it.
That, like, all of our events this year, like if it makes sense, you just have a candy cigarette like, every photo. It's like, man, they were like smoking a lot up there.
Hell yeah.
And I'll probably be working this year, so I'll just supply them. I'll be judging. I'll be like,
can you get one of those like things you put on your waist and just like?
No, I'll put them in my sleeve like a.
Yes.
Oh my God, I found a rock this year that's like a little bit shaped like a little tube, like a rock cigarette. I'm gonna bring that.
That sounds like a rock cigar, Lori.
I don't want to tell people I'm
Gina
smoking
said. It's
rock.
like that utensil dispenser, but it's like on my hip, and I'm like, you want a cigarette, kid? Cigarettes are good for you.
Yeah.
They're great.
Do you want to be cool like the rest of us?
If you're under 18 and you're watching this, cigarettes are bad for you.
Terrible.
Rocks are not. Rocks are a good
Lori,
gateway drug.
We will need, for the purpose of this podcast, a picture of this smoking stone cigarette.
I will provide that after this podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna need your stone cigar.
Don't smoke rocks.
Okay. Are you gonna prep for Jan Todd or no? Like, obviously we're far out from that, but
yeah, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of stone lifting between now and June and July and August. Because I'll be doing your comp in June, the Canada Stones of Strength. And then at FEFOR, I'll be probably doing capture stones of strength there, and then Jan Todd games after that. So I will just be lifting any rock I come across between that.
And so you don't have set programming then for that, do you, Lori?
So I have a coach. He gives me like 4 weeks of programming at a time.
Okay.
So I do have a comp coming up at the end of March. That's just like a local one. So it's got like truck pull and some fun stuff in it. So I'm training for that right now. And then after that, the focus will shift to more like June, July, August stuff.
And Nancy, okay, obviously you have the ACL, so it's a little bit of a different conversation right now.
Correct. I
but-
have one ACL.
Well, my daughter just had her ACL surgery 5 days ago.
Oh.
So yeah. So she had her meniscus a couple months ago, and then her ACL just done 5 days ago. And
Okay.
yeah, and the first
Best
couple
wishes
days
to her.
are thank you. The first couple days are a bit rough, but then it's been good. She's rehabbing and it's ready to go. So what does your stone training look like in particular, like through like in a normal season?
In a normal season, I have built up my garage gym to have a lot of what I need, but I've also been somebody that's willing to drive an hour or 2 hours every once in a while to go touch the things I don't have access to or touch things that are similar to. So towards the fall, usually up until this last year, OSG being the end of the year kind of culmination for me, would usually focus more on Atlas stones, but the beginning of the year, more like spring and summer, are usually mostly natural stones. So I have a great natural stone garden in my backyard. I have Atlas stones all the way up to 350 pounds in my garage. Like, I like to incorporate them into my regular training. So, on an overhead day, I'm rotating between an actual implement and a rock. On carry days, I'm rotating between sandbags and rocks, shouldering, same thing. So, like, depending on what's coming up in either the Jan Todd games, FEFOR, or a comp where I found like a stone show, I'm just incorporating whatever's going on in those shows at my house because why not? And for me, it's some of the most fun training I've had. Like, there's so many ways to train for stones without stones as well. Like, everyone in this group knows Zerchers are a powerful sumbitch. There's so much overlap. Like front squat, Zercher deadlifts, like the things you can do without stones is pretty incredible too. Even if you don't have sandbags, like there are so many ways to prepare for certain movements. Do not sell yourself short just because you don't have access to a rock garden or your gym doesn't have enough sandbags. Like, it's about being creative and having the right coach to help you get creative. But in a normal year, I'm incorporating a lot of that stuff year round. And Atlas stones are, what is it? Or I'm not willing to give those up during any season.
Non-negotiable.
Whatever, a staple for me.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. Thank you. Like, regardless of who I'm working with, I'm like, well, you can't take my rocks. Like, if they're not a priority, then they're going to be an accessory somewhere in here regularly because they make me happy.
Yeah.
And everybody should be doing searcher deadlifts.
Yes.
From the ground.
Yes.
Everybody. Teresa.
Everybody.
I do.
Everybody.
Teresa, you
loves
do?
them.
Do you do them? What's your training look like right
So,
now?
well, since I've had Sunny as my coach, if anybody's been coached by Sunny's, you realize that Zerchers are life. Zerchers from the floor, Zercher deadlift Zerchers, Zerchers in your sleep. So, but like Nancy said, it really like has impacted my overall strength for picking things off the floor so much, so that's, I mean,
Teresa,
my
talk
training's
about
been
the thingy. Sorry.
What thingy? No, what thingy?
This thingy.
The thing with water that you have gotten creative with.
Oh, so actually Nancy said she has some stones for me because I live in like a pretty like rural area and
I
I
have
don't have
rocks in my
access to
backyard for you.
that's what I said. I have to come get them. So I don't have a strongman gym here. Like, I don't have access to most of the implements that I need, so I've had to be really resourceful and creative. So I don't know if you've ever seen the buoys that like the big plastic buoys that float in the water, and so they sell them on Amazon, and they can hold like 50 pounds, 150 pounds, 200 pounds of water. So I started using them. I'm like, well, I bought one on Amazon. I'll have to send you a picture, but I bought one on Amazon. I think I loaded it. It's with water. It's 150 pounds. So It's super resilient. I've dropped it a million times. When I worked on the road doing travel nursing, I would put it in the back of my car and do it in the parking lot just to get the extension, right? I dropped it on pavement, gravel. The thing is made to be beat up. So if you don't have access to stones, that's a super helpful tool that I mean,
Wow.
it's in storage, super easy. You can throw it anywhere. It's not going to pop. It's super durable. I mean, it's made a huge difference if you don't have access, and it's cheap. It's maybe like $30 on Amazon. So, not making your own
As a
stones.
promoter, as a promoter, this is like a really good event idea.
Oh yeah, I mean, and also as far as it's really challenging for your grip as well because it's a smooth surface, so
Yeah.
you really have to it's challenging for your grip in great ways.
That
I like
is,
this.
And you don't
I'm
beat your face up
definitely
when you shoulder
adding
it.
this to my arsenal of toys.
Yeah, I'll send
Tanaya.
you a link.
Yeah. So my training probably looks way different than everybody else's here because I'm mainly a power lifter. Well, I have a squat day, a bench day, a deadlift day, and a secondary bench day. I do overhead on my bench days. Like that is where I practice my overhead movement, but like my basic training is basically powerlifting, and then my accessories are strongman. That's where I can add in some stone lifting and do the fun stuff and train for FEFOR. This year, I have decided to shift way more towards strongman and stone lifting, um, just because of everything coming up. And, uh, but my training probably won't be that different besides adding in the movements I need to practice.
And Gina?
My main goal right now is this little side quest that I'm going on with the Dinnies. But then, like Teresa, I'm coached by Sunny. So I do a lot of zerchering from the floor only. But after, I have FEFOR coming up. We do every year. So I have the pro stones. I don't know what it's called anymore. Nancy, what did they change the name to?
World's
Strongest
Stone.
stone lifter.
So I
Get
have
it
World's
right.
Strongest Stone Lifter. And then that's in July. Then in October, Tanai and I are going to Scotland where she's going to lift the Dinnies, and then I'm going to do other things with the Dinnies. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you are.
like,
I mean, they're
Yeah,
going
you
to come
are.
off the ground.
yeah,
Ooh,
they'll go up. These.
You should zercher them.
She's gonna twirl him like the trunch ball.
If you could get your elbows that close together inside the rings and zercher them,
Yeah,
I fear
Ooh.
the stones pushing off each other could break your bones.
I fear for my biceps.
If not, rip
I-
the top of your
Wrecked
quad
them.
open. Now I'm like super stuck in
Yeah,
that
like
picture.
please. The inside thoughts, Nancy. Keep them inside. Don't
Have
put
you
those
zerchered
out.
700 pounds?
No, my best searcher's like 285.
I know, because I follow your side now. Like, that would be crazy. You can do it. Let's do it.
That's
Yeah,
the
we should
rumor we're
totally-
gonna
that's
spread
just- you
from
know
this
what?
podcast.
Yeah.
Can I get a
Gina's
new
gonna
ACL
zercher
first?
the
though? Can we
Gina
let that happen?
Jenkins, searching 700 pounds.
First person to search
That's the clickbait title. We don't tell anybody that's also the Dinnies
No.
stones.
Yeah.
Well, I have enjoyed this conversation so much, and I love the energy of all of you around this table on any event that you go to. And I think what I wanted to kind of segue out of this podcast before we get into pieces of advice is, women in lifting stones is still really rare, but it is growing. And I'd like each of you to kind of talk about, what it's meant to be as part of this movement and what you hope the next generation of stone lifters sees. And specifically, I'm talking about like getting women in stone.
I think every woman should go out there and get stoned. It's this new level, like you said earlier, it's this new level of girlhood. Like, look what we get to do. We get to travel the world or travel the country. We get to go pick up rocks with our friends. And then afterwards, we get to go have drinks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, this is just, it's such this small, like, elite group of women that want to do this. And the fact that because we're all over the world, it's just this group right here, that people come to the gym and they see what we're doing and they're just like, oh, well, can you teach me how to do that? You know, Tanai and I are fortunate. Like I said, we train at Untamed Strength, and people come to our gym all the time because Alan's just built this just amazing facility for all of us. But then they get to see us doing like weird things. And then these women are like, well, I want to do weird things too. You know, if these girls can do these weird things, I want to learn how to do it. So the fact that we can just spread our knowledge and help grow women in stone lifting, it's so important. And you know, it just makes you feel like if I can do this, I can do hard things. And if you can do hard things in one area of your life, you could do hard things in all aspects of your life.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's what Teresa, what does Ed can always say? It's okay to be strong.
Yeah.
It's okay to be strong, and it's okay to do hard things. And I think more women need to hear that message. So if we could do whatever we can, just honestly, if us getting together in Norway and drinking 8 bottles of wine and picking up rocks and slip and sliding with Teresa, if that's going to get more women to do stone lifting, then
You're here for it.
yeah, I'm so here. You honestly, ladies, I will drink as many bottles of rosé as you need me to. Teresa and I will
fall on
slip
that
and slide on
sword.
all the surfaces.
Maybe some bubble wrap next time.
We're just gonna get you a helmet.
Shenanigans.
We really do need to
I don't
bring
know
our
how-
helmet this year.
I don't know how I don't have one yet in life.
Maybe I'll add that to the next Amazon order of things I send you.
Thank you. Thank you, Minnie.
But yeah, no, just it's really important to get, like I said, if you could do hard things in one aspect of your life, you can do hard things in all aspects of your life. And I think that's the biggest message that I think women need to hear.
I think I'm just starting in this journey. I mean, in comparison to everybody else at this table, I'm relatively new to this and just starting, but the amount of confidence that I have gained in myself and fortitude in every aspect of my life, like women are inherently built to hold pain. And I think a big aspect of stone lifting is your tolerance for uncomfortable things and to be able to hold pain. You know, being able to, hook grip things or to hold things or, you know, like Nancy was saying, knowing that that's not going to kill you. We're built with that pain in us, right? And our capability of doing stone lifting, I think, we're an advantage to men because we have the capability to withhold uncomfortable things, right? Or to hold on to uncomfortable things. And women are far more capable than they give themselves credit for. You know what I mean? And this experience has been one of the single most life-changing things for me and has translated into every aspect of my life. So you're not weird. Go outside, pick up rocks, get in touch with that little kid that you left on the, playground that, you were told you're not allowed to do as an adult. You are absolutely allowed to play with rocks as an adult. I'm here to tell you, that that's okay. For longevity, for mental health, it's been amazing.
I mean, there's not much to add to what's already been said, you know. It doesn't have to be for everybody, but it can be. That's the ratatouille. Not everybody can cook, but not everybody should cook, but it's whatever, make it about stones. Yeah, I seriously, it's hard to add to what's been said because the power that finding a strength journey has done for guaranteed all 6 of us, not to mention all the women we know in our lives that we've seen find a strength sport that brings them confidence and power and resiliency and all these other things. There's just nothing like that. And if it happens to be stones for you, that's wonderful. Like I think Teresa said, like, go be a kid. Like there is nothing wrong with playing at certain times and just having so much fun. Our friend Harry Walker, if you haven't heard the name by now, he likes to compete a whole bunch across the world. But the thing about him is when he's on contracts overseas or deployed, like whatever he's doing, he's out firefighting in the West, he's finding different ways to train in the woods. So he's teaching other firefighters, like, hey, we can take this log and do some buddy squats, or we can go running with it, or like we can get creative. So the ways that people get creative to either train for stones or train for these random things and find so much joy and community in it while also benefiting your internal health, your physical health, like everything. There's, I guess, on my soapbox, I'm just saying, if you're curious, try it and find a community that's willing to include you and teach you and just have a good time. Like, if it's not for you, that's fine, but I highly doubt you're going to hate it.
I'm going to piggyback on that really quickly, Nancy. To find the community that accepts you, and like this is the most accepting community that I've ever been a part of, is the stone lifting community. Like we all, like with Nancy's world record attempt, with Sunny cheering you on, we all just want to see the next person be better. All we want is for
I was
somebody
just
to get
thinking of that.
better. Yeah. So it's so supportive. And like I said, we want we just want everybody to have fun. That's all it
Yeah.
is.
I mean,
I hope both
you
teams
guys have
win. We
heard.
just want everybody to have fun.
I have both these. I've said this to so many people now, but the first time I broke the world record, Sunny said, there are two things that are happening inside of me. She's like, you setting a world record and raising the bar. I'm so excited. I'm so proud. She's like, but there's a human part of me that goes, oh, my world record. Like it's that bittersweet, but her explaining the duality and what it feels like. I was like, that's so beautifully said, so eloquent. And I couldn't agree more, because I would also feel that way. And I know one day I am going to feel that way when somebody breaks it, but I'm also going to go, wow, like the bar keeps going up. And that's just the community that we've been blessed with. Like these ladies welcomed me in my first year, and they already had their breakfast table. And I was like, I don't know where I want to sit. And they're like, if you want to sit with us for breakfast and somewhere else for dinner, like that's fine.
Lori?
I was like that.
Yeah, I think also I just want people to know that like there's no barrier to getting into stone lifting. Like you don't have to be a world record stone lifter. You don't have to lift 700 pounds. You could pick up a 10-pound rock. Like you can just go out and pick up a rock, and that's your thing. And then you work on like picking up a bigger rock, and you find a bigger rock, and you see if you can pick it up. Like it's just it's fun. It's no pressure. It's just you can go out and have a good time lifting rocks.
No, and I think, and I don't know if you have all felt this, but I mean, if we look at kind of, I'm going to get a little woo woo here, but if we look generationally, like generational trauma and how women kind of as a collective have been told to like be competitive against each other, to not work together as women, to not befriend women. I do not get this at all in stone lifting. Like I've been in strongman. I can't compare the two experiences, but in stone lifting, I truly feel like it's a collective of women, and we're all harmonious, cooperative, supportive. And you know, I don't want to make it sounds like it's like this, you know, mecca or whatever, but it truly is to me, because I do not find that's traditional female relationships that I grew up with in the stone lifting community. It's super supportive.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
wanna
I have,
play.
yeah, and I have like, I don't like this. I'll say it again. This community and my friends that I've made through this community have saved my life on more than one occasion, right? Like it's not just about what happens on the field. It's the support system of, you know, people that see something in you that's in them, you know, and I think that we're all, like I said, the island of misfit toys. We all have little broken parts of us, and I think we recognize that in each other, right? And that's why we're so supportive of one another, you know, is that we see the struggles, and they're similar and different, but there's that commonality between us all that are just like, you know, filling in the gaps where everybody's lacked. So it's super special.
It's fantastic. And so before we get into last piece of advice from each of you, I'm just going to do a quick fire questions, and it's like a 1 or 2 word response. And I will call out who can give the response as we go. So the first one is favorite stone ever lifted. Gina.
My first time lifting a 285 Atlas stone.
Amazing. Lori.
There is this stone at FEFOR. It is a 100-kilo granite stone. It took me 4 years to be able to lift it. The first time I went there, it ate all the tacky off my arms as soon as I lifted it. I was like, I don't understand why I can't lift this stone. What is going on? Because it was like my first time lifting a granite stone. The second year I came up, then I gave it like a little bit off the ground, but I still couldn't lap it. The third year I could lap it and extend, but I couldn't quite get to the platform. 4 years later, I finally lapped it, extended, got it on the platform. I was like so happy. It's a good time.
Tanaya?
This is a really weird stone. It doesn't have a name. It's nothing. It's when Gina and Teresa and I went and visited Leifa, and we went to this riverbed and like we're messing around with rocks, and I found this tiny little rock. Like it just like flip in my hand and catch over and over. It was the most fun I had lifting a rock.
I
Oh, that
think
was a
I
fun
remember
day.
seeing footage from that
Yeah.
that event. And Nancy,
I think I'm gonna have to say I think I loaded a 300-pound Atlas stone for the first time at my first OSG, and the way it felt like was like magic to me. What is it? What was this? 2021. And the way the 275 had moved right before felt unreal. So then for the 300 move that way in comp, I do think that was my first 300. But I remember that moment. That was a really like light up moment for me that year. I have quite a few, but I'll put that one up there at the top.
and Teresa.
I'm it's not attached to a weight necessarily, but it was actually the competition that Gina and Tanaya and Pauline and I did in the summer. Those Dinnies, the Dinnie like little Dinnie replica stones, the side by side ones. Not because they were particularly heavy, but just because I was in a certain place in my life where I was so challenged with training, and like I just like went all in on those two Dinnies, and I just walked them until I almost threw up. So for me, that was my favorite ever lift, my favorite stones to lift. They were my jam.
I love those stories so much. Uh, so as I do with every guest, but you don't get 3 pieces of advice because we would be here for another hour. So you each get to give me 1 piece of advice before we depart from the episode. And Gina, you're up first.
Don't forget to play. One of the best times that, like I said, Teresa and I have both talked about this, that we've had stone lifting is we went down to Southern California to meet up with Leifa and spend the weekend with her. And we hiked down to this creek bed and we just found rocks on the ground and we just played. And we were making up games and we were throwing rocks. And Shia found that flippy rock. And so we were just, okay, well, you flipped it that time. Okay, I'm going to see how many times I can flip it. And we were like digging rocks out of the sand just so we could make up new games with them. And I think that a lot of people forget that we do what we do because it's fun. And they lose the fun aspect of it.
100%.
And this is what we get to do. We are so fortunate that we get to do this with our lives, that you still have to have fun and you just go. We're just gonna go play with our friends. That's all we do. Hi, Miss Triani. Can Teresa come across the country and come play with us for the weekend and pick up rocks? Okay, thank you. My mom said she can take her home if you bring her over. Like, we just all want to get together and just play.
Like Kiki is our mom in this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Lori?
I would say just like don't wait to start lifting. Like just get in there and do it. Like it's super fun. It's super good for you. Like it's good for you physically. It's good for you mentally. It's just like it's a good time. Just go do it. It's my advice.
And Teresa?
Failure. We avoid failure a lot, but I have myself avoid trying things for fear of failure. But failure is where like the good stuff is in the failure, right? Those where the valuable lessons are. That's how you get better, is by failing. And I have not failed enough. I've avoided so many competitions for fear of failure, and that's something I'm personally trying to do now. Is just do it. If you fail, you fail. There's so many lessons in failure, so fail more often.
Yeah, that is poignant advice. And Tanaya?
Even if you think that you should be doing something because you're the best at it or because somebody told you to, like this is a hobby and you should be having fun. You should be doing this for your own joy. So if something is not bringing you joy, you don't have to do it no matter how good you are at it. You can stop that and, hey, I don't like deadlifting anymore. I'm going to go just pick up rocks because that makes me feel better than deadlifting a barbell does. Like, do whatever you want. Do what brings you joy.
Great advice.
And Nancy?
Okay, everyone went for the motivational. I'm going to go for the serious. If you're going on a natural stone hunt, on an adventure, take a towel, take snacks, and take water. Heavy emphasis on the take snacks. Everyone's like,
Yes.
I'm only going to be there for 30. No, you're going to be there for 3 hours. You need to be safe, especially if you're alone. That's where the towel comes in because dew happens. And having a snack and some water allows you to sit, gain composure, and go, okay, I can actually stay for longer and keep attacking the stones safely. Just take a snack. Always take a snack.
That is such great advice. I have enjoyed this conversation so much. And when I pitched this to you all those months back, and you were all eager and supportive, and I mean, we've had tons of chats since we spoke, and I just want to thank you all for taking the chance on us doing this, because we didn't know exactly what it was going to be like. There's 6 of us. We had no idea. There was a slight structure, but not really. And this is what it's about. It's women supporting women. And this is my love presently. Aside from stones, this is my love talking about them. And I'm just so thrilled that you agreed to support me in this. And I wanted to bring your voice to all the men and women that are in stone lifting. And I just kind of wanted to end it off with this, that like stones are super simple. They're ancient. They've been sitting in the same place for hundreds of years. But then when someone comes to lift them, something powerful happens, and it's happened to us all. And what I love about tonight is that these stones are no longer, I'm starting to get shivers, and I'm not going to cry because my daughter says I cry every episode, but they're not just about men in history books anymore. They're stories about women showing up, training hard, facing fear, and doing extremely extraordinary things so that future generations can go on and do the same incredible stuff. So to anyone and everyone listening, whether you're man, female, them, and is thinking about trying stones, maybe this is your sign. Find a rock, simply pick it up, and see what happens. And so thank you all for being part of this and being part of this movement and taking the time to spread the love of stones tonight. So for those that are listening, please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this amazing practice with the people that you love. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Yay.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you.
Love you. Bye.